Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derrick. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Hey guys, this is Frankie Kidd, wrestling photographer. You're listening to Wrestling IQ 101. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside Derek. And you can follow Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. At Wrestling IQ 101, you can listen to us right here on YouTube or on the B Plus Player Network across all platforms. And today, we're sitting with three members of the Five Guys, Vinny Cenzo, Dominic Truex, and Lucky Leo Zukko. How's it going, guys?
How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Pretty good, good, man. Thank you guys for having us.
Oh, this is awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're treating us like kings here.
we have the Doritos flying. You know, Vinny is here. We had to make him feel like home. You know, we had to.
Yeah.
I think you guys. Would you guys say you guys have a bad rap at SWF? You know, I mean, you guys did attack the owner, Rob Fury, a couple months ago. And you guys are doing some devious things part of Furious 5, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's sort of like, if you want to get ahead in life, you can't let your boss be your boss. If you want to get higher than your boss, you got to take him out.
Okay.
And if there's a weak link, and if it's your boss or not, you got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of that weak link.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but you guys ever think, like, if we get rid of the boss, right, we're not going to have a paycheck. Because then this place is going to close down, right? You guys, think,
I mean, we don't do it for the money, obviously.
But
hot dogs.
Even on top of that, if you want to look at it from, in my perspective, a historical standpoint,
yeah.
Not for nothing, Rob Fury knows that the last time Five Guys was in prominence, that we were so, and this is before the assembly that we have now, where it's just full-blown, no sticky stuff. It's not about comedy. It's about coming in and dominating. But even then, where I would say the last group of Five Guys, we ran Rob Fury to the point where we took the company.
That's true.
So, I mean, the physical threat alone, is he not going to sign our paychecks? Absolutely not, because he knows that we would decimate him immediately if that were the case.
Yeah. So
okay.
So what if Rob? You get rid of Rob and he wants to bring in somebody else new? Isn't it kind of like one of those things where the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, or does it not even matter to you guys?
that bringing somebody new does not phase us at all, because at one point we're the new guys, and now to take on anybody new would be amazing. You bring on any newcomer that come here, including these young guys. I haven't mentioned the name, the Legends of New Jersey,
Something like that.
Even those guys, they're the new guys. They keep trying to come up to us. They keep trying to mess with Mac and Magic. First of all, I'll say right now, Mac never had me pinned. If you watch the video, I kicked out right before 3, and that ref Pat needs to get his stuff together to learn that we did not even lose that match. Those championships should be ours today.
Yeah. So
Dude,
I'm not gonna argue.
I'm heated.
I'm sure. That was a pretty intense matchup for sure. I'm not gonna say who I was rooting for, but
Didn't you just hear what they said they did?
I know. I saw. I was there. I made my debut that night. I saw what they did.
We've never hurt anybody on their opinion. Their actions is what we will act on.
So I can't go against my boys, but the guys, let's talk about the beginning here, right? How did you guys become friends?
And this was 9 years ago?
9 years ago, yeah. We met through a bunch of friends. This is going to get real. We met through. He was actually dating one of my friends back in high school. We ended up meeting together. It turns out we all had a really, really big interest in wrestling, and so all of us we kind of got together and bought a wrestling ring, and we backyard wrestled for a while. Long time with some of the guys you even hear about today in the business. I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want to sell them out, but we wrestled with some people right now. We've gotten better and better. I mean, honestly, without backyard wrestling, we wouldn't have the talent that we have today. We really wouldn't.
Sure, I think everybody has kind of done that, right? I mean, in some form of another. So I don't think,
Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and those two are like one of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling.
Sure, right? And everyone has to start off somewhere. And sometimes that's your passion. I mean, I remember I was playing, wrestler as a kid in my backyard.
They won't let you train at 14, 15 years old. They won't let you do stuff like that you want to do.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you just start out in the business and you're just getting into professional wrestling by going straight to a school, it's hard to get anywhere because you don't even you already know the basics before you go in there. You already have a mindset of what wrestling is by the time you even get into a school. So when we actually went and got training, it was really, really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome that you guys.
Yeah, and if I may for a second, like if just for like a little peel behind the curtain thing for for you guys especially, a few months back, me and Leo were having a conversation, and I just think for me it's one of those things that yes. Is there unsafe aspects to the backyard and things could happen? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But however, like if you don't have that, like those are the kind of dudes that have that drive that push them to go get trained. But what's funny is me and Leo were having this conversation, and a small world becomes smaller. Mm-hmm. Leo and I used to wrestle in literally the same spot where I have a few years on him. Mm-hmm. The guys in my generation and the younger kids ended up ultimately working with
the same
Leo
spot in a random woods, mind you.
Really?
Random woods, the same spot in a random woods.
Wow. Small world, right?
Yeah.
Now, definitely, like, what do you think, you saw as differences once, I know besides being more disciplined, but when you moved on to actual professional training than what you guys were doing? And I'll ask you a two-part question. And two, kind of like you said, like kids, 14, 15, they can't get training for wrestling. Do you think that'll change one day and that someone might, as wrestling evolves today, someone might actually do that where they open up a wrestling school for younger kids?
No. I don't think
There's too much liability.
There's too much liability with children. I mean, it's like, I know there's football and there's baseball and stuff like that, but you don't see professional wrestling as something in high school that kids can do, which if they had professional wrestling training in a high school environment where kids can get trained in professional wrestling in high school, that would change the game of professional wrestling for like history, forever. That would be that'd be honestly one of the coolest things to ever grow up and see. Yeah. If I can die and see that, then I know that that's the best era we could have ever grown up in.
But same breath, I guess, like I don't know, I would not say so much like a difference of opinion, but like I just feel like too, also, like New Jersey, not just New Jersey, but I guess like the East Coast, it's so oversaturated. Like, but do you really want something like that? Like, I think it's awesome that ultimately, if you had wanted to, there would be no need for backyard because there's so many schools at such cheap rates now compared to ages ago. You wouldn't need
at one point it was like $4,000 just to get in a Larry Sharp school back in the Monster Factory.
Yeah, I don't think it's
way back in the day, like 1990s,
like anything, like there's a reason that the New York Yankees or whatever your team, like let's just say there's a reason that the New York Yankees are the New York Yankees. Yeah. You have to be yes, there may be a bought team, but you have to be an exceptional player to be on that bought team.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't think everybody in high school should be able to because there's a wrestling ring in my high school, I should give this a go.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's like that kind of, what I mean? That's my take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I was watching one of your matches. You were the God of War. How did it feel to transition out of that?
The God of War. This is like back in the way back day, like when I was big sexy Venom.
Okay.
In backyard.
No, you were the God of War, Dominic Truex, and you were facing the God of Thunder. So you might.
God, how long ago was that? I haven't seen. I don't even remember what match you're talking about, which is weird.
So I was like watching some clips of you on YouTube preparing, and I was like, I know this guy, and it was you're Dominic Truex, and you were the God of War, and you were facing Ricky something or other, and he was the God of Thunder.
Oh, Ricky Rocks. Ricky Rocks in some kid's front yard at a baseball. All right. That right there, I'll tell you right there. I was the God of War for one and one only reason, because they needed to heal that night.
Okay.
Ricky Rocks needed an opponent. I'll tell you right now, this could be as shoot as hell. I don't care. He sucks. All right, straight up. I don't care. Listen, I had to wrestle this kid, and he comes out there looking like Marge and Eddie, and he's trying to basically do all Shawn Michaels moves. And I got stuck wrestling with this kid's birthday party. We were the main event because I was the best wrestler there, which is saying something. I'm
just surprised you said that.
Because it was one of those situations. I got put in a God of War, and the song was called God of War, and it was kind of cool. I transitioned from that when I did my single stuff, there's actually another video that's really not even up yet. I wrestled in Connecticut when I was like 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
At Beyond Limits. And I was Big Sexy Venom. That's what my wrestling name was. And I wrestled this kid Ace, who was not Ace Marksman. Broke my nose the first time I was ever in a professional ring, in a professional aspect. After being 411 as a kid and stuff like that. But as you were saying before, like going from the backyard aspect to the professional aspect, when we got into the training, it was more or less like we had to impress a bunch of friends in your backyard wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. Your peers.
Oh yeah, and your friends do some cool stuff. Like we grew up in a really weird era of backyard wrestling. It wasn't just like a bunch of people hitting each other with trash cans. It was wrestling. It was stuff that you'd see today in like PWG. Like I see wrestling. There's wrestling moves that people come out with now that they'd be like, oh wow, this is really cool.
Like 5 years ago.
We saw 5 years ago in somebody's backyard by some kid who was 17 years old. Like, and sometimes we even see the moves that we've seen moves that we've came up with years ago come up on WWE or anywhere else, and we're like, I've already done that. People were so impressed with that. I stopped doing that because I thought it looked stupid. Like, and going from that, the only thing that really hit me in professional aspect was stamina.
Yeah.
Stamina was true. Mother, I'll tell you that right now. Going from, just going around with your friends to actually having to run around the ring 100 times and do like 100 squats and like all these other workouts, stuff like that we had to do. It was definitely a lot more, it was definitely intense. I mean, I did a little bit of CW, you did a little bit of
BWO.
BWO.
For 2 months. This was years ago, so probably like 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago.
I kind of just grew up in the business in general. I was like bumping and like doing stuff like that when I was probably like 8, 9 years old in the ring. It was 401. So I always grew up in the professional aspect. I grew up around the back room so much. Like when I came to professional wrestling, the back room was such a normal thing to me. The only difference from that in the backyard was that you had to get changed in the locker room, not for like public.
So I think it's pretty interesting because I'm pretty sure you guys have like 3 different like aspects on this. What like for each of you individually was like that deciding factor or that thing that made you say like I want to be a wrestler? Like what struck you guys?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm just gonna say Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
100%. I had a Shawn Michaels action figure as a kid that would take baths with that, bringing all the time, seeing Shawn Michaels.
Still does.
Seeing like,
He's a
shower now. He was everything that like you want to be, like charisma, his gear, the moves he can do that no one was doing at the time. It's very inspirational. And then the Hardys came out, and then forget it. Like I wore the pants to school, and that was it. I was gonna be a wrestler at that point.
Did you dye your hair like Jeff?
I did. Yeah. My dad didn't like it, so I dyed it back. But
for me, I was kind of born into it.
Yeah.
And I was born. My dad was already wrestling by the time I was born. He was just already, and he went to ECW off of he never really was in wrestling for the love of it, but then he got me into it, and I loved it more than he did. I definitely loved it more than he did. Yeah, he was, he got into it because my brother Walter was watching TV one day, and he saw Lex Luger on TV. And I said I could beat that guy's ass. And my brother Walter's like, no, you can't. Well, a couple weeks later, my dad was on ECW.
Oh, shit.
He went to start school, and he was very fast. We made his transition. Next thing you know, he was on ECW, bringing out Sabu.
Yeah.
He's like, what? My brother freaked out, and my dad got really into it.
Yeah.
And then he brought in me, his 411. He brought a little vest and jeans, the whole getup. I just looked like a small version of him. I was like wrestling midgets and stuff like that, going in there and getting my butt beat by his friends and stuff like that. I was getting thrown around as a kid. And
That's cool.
later on, I just started back to wrestling. I knew I wanted to, like, looking up to wrestling. Who I really looked up to, though, was Booker T. I loved Booker T growing up. That's why I did the scissor kick. I loved watching Booker T's wrestling. I loved the charisma, the spinneroonie growing up. I mean, I remember watching a Campbell's soup commercial, so spinneroonie. It was the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. And then, I always loved tag team wrestling. That's why I loved the tag team. Like Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys. I didn't really care much for Edge and Christian, but and I love
like Edge and Christian.
I actually like rated RKO more than
really.
I don't know why, but
got the 5-second pose, man.
I just like I like the attitude that the RKO had, like the cockiness and stuff like that.
Okay,
I mean, I love DX. Who doesn't love DX?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, like the big factions. Like that's why we're in a faction today. I mean,
we were domination guys, so yeah.
Oh, I mean, who does? That's just
Owen Hart over here.
Yeah, I was the Nugget, not Nugget.
Yeah. What made you?
Oh, for me, well, I mean, I'm sure you guys remember from the last time I was on. I watched on Saturday mornings like anybody, Superstars in the morning. But I think like the driving factor for me, like the it moment was my dad and my uncle took me to the Spectrum. It was Slaughter and Brett in the main, and it was just like it's just one of those things where it's just like it was a lock. Like there was no way I was not going to do this. Like this is going to be a part of my life in one way or the other. Obviously, hopefully in the ring, which was the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. You guys are so different, right? And it's so crazy how just one thing brings everybody together, and then you find out you have other things in common and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
What things did you guys find out that you have in common with each other, and maybe other members of the Five Guys?
We don't like authority.
Okay.
That's why we don't like being told what to do. That's one of the big things.
Definitely that free. I would say we all have that free bird flair to us. Like where we get by on our own routine and the way we handle ourselves.
Okay.
And
sure.
I just think we all want gold. Astor already has gold.
Yeah, I know. Astor's already got it. I mean, we got screwed out of our chance last week.
And I was out for a year and a half, not wrestling. And now I'm back and I want to be with the best.
Which was a big, that was a big hindrance almost. And it was one of those things that like God tried to take something away from us, and then he just fought back and we're like, screw you, dude, we're coming back harder and harder than you think we are, and we're gonna make so many impressions on people that we're gonna make them forget that even happened.
Because even before I got hurt, we were 3 matches straight.
Yeah, we went 3 matches straight. We were dominating everybody. We were supposed to have the tag team match against Monsters Asylum, and that all got taken away.
Yeah. It's kind of the one thing I really did like was that you didn't want to give up. You kept going. You were fighting for the both of you guys, right? I mean, you were fighting to keep that spot in other companies and other places. How do you get that drive to just do that for the both of you?
Honestly, just knowing that he was going to be coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that one day he was going to be back in that corner. Because looking back behind that corner and not seeing him there was the worst thing ever.
Really?
So knowing that as long as I keep fighting and keep staying in this business, I can secure a spot for when he comes back for us to go even further in this business together. I didn't want to go really any further than I was because I knew that really I wanted to do this with him, and really I wanted to go into tag team wrestling with my brother right here. That's what I wanted to do, and I kept that drive. I was fighting for him. I knew that no matter what happens, that when he comes back, I was going to have a place for him to sit right by me.
And we've had 3 tag matches.
Yeah.
Since I've been back, and we already got a chance. Since I've been at time before.
And let you know right now, this guy still is. He's still got like a little something going on, but he's still better than half the people in this locker. Most of the people in this locker room. I think we're the best tag team in the freaking industry right now, personally.
Yeah,
I can confidently say that we are one of the best tag teams in indie wrestling today. Not pro, not like AEW, WWE, but in indie wrestling today, we are one of the best tag teams, well put together tag teams that there is.
Yeah, no argument here. I think it's crazy because now you guys have aligned yourself with Vinny, who. You have familiar past with Five Guys or the Furious Five. You've been in these stables. Is this the best version of it that we've seen?
I would say hands down. In wrestling, what is the main objective?
Get better.
But like when you're in a match, what's the objective?
Win.
Get the 1, 2, 3, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not taking away from any of the talents or anything that the past, but let's be real about it. Past Five Guys versions, we were a little bit more about entertaining people. Mm-hmm. Maybe we started off strong, maybe we had a good group, but ultimately fans started cheering us.
And people are scared.
Like that.
People are scared.
But if you look now at the group that we have, and this isn't just me trying to be biased or mark out for us, but just again, we just went over it between the two of them. Maybe opposite styles a bit, but styles that mesh so well, which make for an excellent tag team in these guys. Jimmy Controversy, who's coming into himself as one of the premier cruiserweights,
The Top Gun.
and which is what I think is so cool. And a lot of people underestimate Jimmy because when it comes to mind, people think GTS or they think hokey stuff, but not for nothing. The guy at the end of the last show standing over the cruiserweight champ with the cruiserweight belt. So you could say what you want about him, but he's coming along.
He listen. The kid is a kid, but when you push him, is when you really see a lot out of him.
And then to go further, Astro, I don't need to say anything about Astro because the man speaks for himself, collecting titles all across the Northeast right now.
He's a dominating force to have on a team.
He's the man. He really is.
He factored all that in with myself, and I'm gonna have to thoroughly say that yes, this is the best incarnation because that is a group of people that's not gonna settle for 2 counts. It's a group of people that wants 3 counts. They want titles. We want dominance.
Yeah. One thing that really impresses me, as great as all you guys are, the one thing that stands out to me is Vinny. Vinny, he's not the biggest guy, but he hangs in there with the biggest guys. SWF heavyweight champ. What is it that you do that gives you that, capability to hang in there with those
David
big guys?
Goliath, first of all.
Yeah, basically, yeah, he is. But he stands out for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you. A lot of people, I guess, look at me and maybe they think, maybe there's that Rey Mysterio complex, that underdog complex. Yeah. But growing up in I think I talked to you guys a little bit about my past. I grew up in a very traditional Italian household where it was you don't take no shit.
Yeah.
When I learned to fight, my uncle was a Golden Gloves Marine boxer. He brought me in the art at 12 years old and he said, "We're not leaving until you can tell me to stop," kind of thing. That's pretty fucking tough, Pardon the French. But I think the biggest thing that sets me apart from your standard underdog, if you will, is no matter how many accolades I've had in SWF or other places, what happens when you go up, you ultimately go down, right? Mm-hmm. Realistically, you're going to lose the title. So I thrive on that. That's, I think, what sets me apart is knowing that there's going to be a decline and I'm going to have to push my ass to get to my next goal. Yeah. And I don't think if you're a wrestler and you're not setting goals for yourself to get to the next thing, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, listen, just saying, if we're in a bar brawl, I would take this guy right here over half the guys that are 6 foot tall in the locker room because I know what'll happen. Listen, I've been in a couple tussles in my day, and usually the bigger guys end up kind of just screwing off. And then the next thing you know, I have one of my 5'4" friends come over and just leap on my shoulder. Ah! This is one of those guys that would do it.
We are a devious group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about you guys. You don't have to go out and say that you're a devious group. People just kind of see it. They just see your actions. I was talking to Astro the other day, and actually I brought up what Eric Korver said. He was questioning your character. And I was like, almost like you guys were like the NWO, right? With Mean Gene in the ring. You guys are getting garbage, and that's what I felt like, right? Like he was questioning this. This is the person you want to be if you align yourself with them, and he was directly calling you out in that video, and that match was so good. I mean, it didn't have to get overly violent. I mean, how was it wrestling Eric Korver's first match back? Pretty much.
Again, and if you saw in the promo, he had returned the line. He said, "I don't respect you because of what you've done." Uh-huh. But here's the thing. Wrestling, you could throw the lingo, the good guy, the bad guy, and we're not about that. Like I said, we are a family about dominance. Yeah. So if I want to use Preston, I'm going to use Preston. If I want to call on them to get the victory, I'm going to do what I want to do to get the victory. I'm not interested in what the people around me or the internet community thinks about. Again, I'm thinking about getting myself back up to my next goal.
Sure.
And I do. I respect Eric. I know what Eric's accomplished. I know he's the Garden State God. I've seen all the people that. So I'm going to do whatever it takes if he wants to make a big comeback to stop him dead in his tracks. Like I said, I'm indifferent to his opinion on that. And we did, and we went out there and we gave it a hell of a go. Yeah, it was awesome matchup. I mean, I was watching it, for a little bit, and man, I was just like, this guy hasn't lost a step. I mean, he was bringing the fight to you. 110%. I felt it. I felt it.
I'll give him this. He got in pretty good shape. He did he got back into good shape. He does. He looked good. Yeah. Oh, he did look good. Yeah. I was shocked when I saw him. I haven't seen him in a little bit wear attire. Yeah. And I saw him in attire. I was like, wow, that looks like Eric Korver's again. Yeah. I was very excited to see that. I was like, Vinny, you better kick his ass.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, what a great matchup to come back to. I mean, a stellar opponent in you, Vinny Cenzo.
Thank you.
And, great matchup. I would really like to see another one.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I guess you have to go to Rob and Billy, but I'd pay to see another one.
We can't talk to Rob anymore.
They already beat up Rob.
Yeah, you can. But maybe Billy will lend an ear to this and know that. Man, I want to see the rematch. I want to see the rematch.
Well, according to what we've heard, Eric Korver is back, and I'm no stranger to a fight. So if he wants it, I'm ready for it.
I want to see Vinny Cenzo versus Ace Marksman for that freaking hardcore championship. Is he still out there?
No.
No.
Who has it now?
Grim.
Has the hardcore.
Grim has the. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Oh man.
See,
Now it's a toy.
that's a problem. You don't need to get it off that guy.
I have no issue doing that either.
Yeah. Speaking of hardcore and deathmatch, have you seen since the last time we talked that the stigma of deathmatch or hardcore? Do you think like it's changed and that people kind of like have a better understanding of it, or as a worker that people have been doing it the right way that it should be done?
I'm not trying to take away too much from these guys, so I'm gonna kind of be quicker with this.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those beauties in the eye of the beholder kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Viceland, I don't know if you guys are familiar, just put out that documentary the other day that gave a very good visual insight from Tucci Onita's angle of things to the American side with Tremont and all those guys. Personally, and I'm going to preface it, this is no way a slight on Jimmy. I've known Jimmy for a long time, Jimmy Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you got to do things just the same way a Ricochet would have to do a new move to impress people after doing a double backflip.
Yeah.
However, I don't think taking scissors to puncture yourself two weeks in a row. I don't know if you guys saw that between the two tournaments.
Yeah.
It sucks when deathmatch wrestling is like
I
that.
understand it's deathmatch wrestling, but at what cost, dude? Because there's people have died in the ring on accidents up until this point.
For lesser stuff.
King dropped
For lesser stuff.
And again,
Yeah,
I
everybody think of
this is my
Mysterio, right?
opinion.
Like-
I know those guys are creative enough, and they do, and I know the risks that they take and the fan base that they have to appreciate. But this is just my personal opinion. I just for something like that.
Even you, Jack, with the shanking too.
Yeah.
Like that was like stabbing somebody.
Like they have that audience. They're,
Like-
I
he
just feel
does.
that they're still going to
Razor chairs. What the hell happened to light tubes? Like they're using razor chairs now and like scissors on boards. I've seen scissors on boards for God's sake.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like
But again, like I said, in the same breath, this is not a knock. Like I praise GCW. I think that if that, like, I'm personally a fan of deathmatch wrestling. You guys see that. In the past. I'm not going to by any means say I'm a deathmatch wrestler. I'm a happy medium of hardcore to that. But GCW is just what they are. They're a game changer. They're doing things that CZW did then, and they've become that now. And there's nobody that's topping them.
Well, the thing is-
They're amazing.
I just don't want to see people I know get hurt. I worry
Yeah,
about.
I just that's what you do, man. You're right,
Even when you guys have your own matches, like, we were at the Epic Church a couple days ago. I'm like, I don't want to see you guys get hurt. I don't want to see you guys really, hurt Mac and Magic. I mean, but they can hold their own. They're big dudes and stuff like that. So, let me ask you guys this. You guys started out, right? You have these big cards. Do you miss those big playing cards?
No.
No?
I know where they are, to be honest.
No, I don't. Those are probably in the back of my car that got like impounded somewhere. I don't even know. Like, I mean, listen, that was just to get over it first. Now, we're showing where we really came from.
Dude, at the beginning, we're trying like showmanship, but now it's like about winning the belts.
Yeah, now I can care less about what people think about what our gimmick is when we come out there. We're just gonna come out there and we're gonna beat up anybody who comes in front of us. I mean, it's more or less the fact that at one point we were wrestling to get over. Now we are doing this to get what we want, and we're gonna get what we want. We can't just sit there and show off. Now we need to make impact.
Sure.
And since those times, how do you guys think like you've evolved as a tag team, and what weaknesses do you think you guys have improved and made into strengths?
Well, for one, a big thing that happened was he beat Jess 3 times.
Yeah.
It made us really know that whatever we wanted in life, we really can't wait for.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like is that we don't have we don't know how much time we have left on this earth.
Yeah.
And now that we need to, now we've moved past the bad stuff, we want to see all the good stuff happen. Yeah. And I mean, the weaknesses that were from before us were, I don't even know. What do you think our weaknesses were?
I think we were too anxious. I think getting back together after everything that happened, knowing this is what we're destined to do this. as a tag team. We're destined. We were already close at first. We've been friends for 9 years now. This happened, and now we're even closer. We've always considered each other brothers, but now we have Vinny Cenzo.
Yeah.
Now we're a family.
Yeah.
We have Astro with Preston.
We have like we literally have a family in the five. We really do. Like we all. I mean, us three hang out. If these guys live closer, we'd be hanging out every damn day. We really would. But us three hang out, God, 5 days a week, almost at least. Like we hang out, we talk every day. We make sure that we're always together. Like we always talk about wrestling. We always do stuff that's not about wrestling, so we can take our mind off of it. Like I'd say our biggest weakness, and back in the day, was that we were too comfortable, and I feel like we were waiting too long for something to happen that we didn't want to push for it. And now that we have something, like, now that something's happened, like something like that, we want to push for it even harder. We want even more. Like, I say I want this even more than ever at this point in life. Like, there's nothing I want to do more in my life than wrestle for the rest of my life next to my brothers. And that's it. Like, I want to get far in this business with the people that I love. That's what I want to do.
Sure. Leo, you had your battle. You remember your last match, and how did you feel knowing that this might be your last match ever? This is something that you might not be able to continue with. When it happened, you get looking back at it. I'm sure a couple of days had passed. You kind of reflect on that last match, and fast forward knowing that, man, you're gonna come back. You're gonna have a matchup, and before you get in the ring, what are those nerves like? From the last one to this one.
I mean, what's crazy is that we were bucks, and I was thinking it was a handicap match. It was you, me versus Landscaper and two other guys.
Yeah.
In a handicap tag match. Now I was hurt maybe a week and a half before that.
Yeah, the injury already happened before this. We didn't know what was
So
wrong.
my brain was bleeding the whole time.
Wow.
Even during that match. So I easily could have died in that ring, but I didn't.
Thank God.
Thank God. Exactly, didn't.
And just for 1 second here, there was not an instant where I thought he wasn't coming back. At all.
Sure.
At all. I knew 100% no matter what happened, he'd be in that ring.
And that's all I heard, though. You're not going to come back. There's no way he's going to come back. But that drives you to, be there for my brothers, do something I've wanted to do since I was 8 years old.
Like, those words never came out of my mouth once.
Yeah.
Like, when everybody said, no, I don't think he can, I said, no, fuck you, he's coming back. Yeah. No matter what you say about it. It doesn't matter if he dies in that ring, because I would want to die in the ring. That's the only place where I want to go, personally. Like, I knew he wasn't going to be, like, there's nothing stopping this dude from coming back and stopping us from doing what we want to do.
Yeah. How are the nerves, like, you get cleared, or clear enough to go, and knowing that this is the day you're going to come back? How's those nerves? How does that feel, knowing that, that butterflies, does that come back?
Well, I mean, personally, like me and Dom already talked about it. Doing backyard, we wrestled with a lot of people, great people. I've been wrestling high-profile matches at that time when I was 17 years old, 18 years old. I'm not nervous anymore at this point, especially after what happened to me. I know this is what it's for. So the nerves, I had him against Mac and Magic. Obviously, because this was our chance to win the belts. This is what I've been dreaming of since I was in the fucking hospital.
And to do it this fast, and to do it that fast.
And to do it that fast, too.
We probably got a little bit cocky. We did. We probably got a little bit cocky, and we got a little bit about ourselves. Because, only a couple matches back, we already got our championship spot right there. I thought, hey, listen, these are two old dudes, and these, they don't stand a chance. We're two young, strapping, gorgeous men. I thought we just had them.
I don't think anybody has ever counted Mac and Magic out. But yeah, I mean, maybe that was the flaw. But I like to see you guys get back in the ring with them for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You're going to. If they have the championship still, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the tag team division, right? You have the U.S. Express. You have other tag teams that are flourishing at SWF. Now that they have, expanded with the appetite to fight. And even before this, when they had the trifecta, blooming. Who are some of the tag teams that are out there that you guys can match up with? That you want to face.
Oh man, why is your name slip my head? Damn, that's really this is what pisses me off. In the U.S. Express, we're gonna beat them. The Rep beating them. The Rep is two people that we really want to work.
That'd be nice.
If they can hear this, we're calling you out, man. We want you guys in the ring 110%, and we want you guys at.
Nate
top
Carter
of the rep,
and
if I could step in for them for a second,
David
outside of SWF, these guys just wrestled for Pizza Party Wrestling.
Yeah.
And a match included the Ugly Ducklings. And I feel like
Yeah.
that would be an amazing pair off between them.
Oh, that'd be amazing to versus Ugly Ducklings right there. I mean, I think I set my bars a little too high though. I want to verse like. Hell, if we can get the Bucks, we don't. I don't think we have the money for that. But I mean, there's so many people I want to wrestle like right now in the tag team division. The SWF personally.
Think about it because the Us Express.
Yeah, the Us Express. We've already beaten them. I mean, the Philadelphia Shiggers, the Meat Spinners. Sorry, we already beat them. I mean, we want to get Magic again. We want to get them back in there again because we want those titles.
Yeah.
Obviously, but right now the number one team I was looking at was probably the Rep. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. Yeah.
It was what are the names? With Caveman and them. I really want to verse them too.
Super
Savage.
I really want to verse them. Monsters Asylum, if they can get back here, I wouldn't mind even wrestling them again.
Yeah.
I'd wrestle them because we were supposed to beat them already.
Yeah.
Like.
It's
I
great.
think you guys are like the first people that ever wanted to fight Monsters Asylum. By the way. I don't think anyone wants to fight them besides you guys.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you know who else? I'm not gonna.
This is why I'm happy to sit on the other side.
There's one more tag team actually. That's not the American Murder Society. I would not mind.
Oh, Steve Off and Aaron Bradley.
Absolutely,
Oh, man.
I wouldn't mind wrestling those guys. I do like those guys. I've known them for a little bit.
You know, it's crazy because you guys are not picking any like slouches. You guys
Yeah,
want like,
that's
the
true.
real
That's
fight.
true, yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
like if I was
Book
facing
Douglas
somebody-
against us tomorrow. I'll wrestle.
like, that's what I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to face the Dudleys. I'd be on the other side of the guardrail. Like, right? That's what we do.
Evercross and
Evercross.
Yeah.
That's what, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Psycho Driver. That's right. Those guys as well. Trying to remember who else. There's a lot of people in Pro Wrestling Magic who wouldn't mind wrestling. Actually, there's a lot of tag teams too.
This is great because we can see it in your face. Now, I wish people could see it here. But you guys just lit up when we were like talking about the possibility of other tag teams that we could face, and that that just warms us because we see the passion in you guys, and hopefully you get these matches.
Definitely.
Hopefully you guys can tidal wave through these opponents. So yeah, hopefully that's.
Here's a little dream one. I'm not gonna lie. It would be the Unbeatable Machines. Was it Brian Cage and I would love to verse those two. Those two guys look like somebody we can throw around each other with. Those guys look like someone we could tussle.
It's funny too because I was watching this match, and at first I was like, man, like you versus Stepdads, right? And this is kind of cool because you guys match up so well.
I feel bad I forgot about the stepdads, but yeah, I would love to get the stepdads back in the ring as well.
Yeah,
I would. I feel really bad I forgot those guys.
Like Papa Bear, Wade Kruger, and the
Kruger
Rad Dad. I mean, you guys just physically, you guys match up like,
You know
pretty well.
why? Because we grew up together.
Oh, really?
Those are some of the people we grew up with in this business. That's why you can tell all of our wrestling styles are good.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, you just mentioned two good tag teams who I hope they don't get mad. We've all come from the same yard. Yeah. We wrestled with. That's how we've always evolved.
You've known them for 10 years now.
Yeah, right now. As long as I've known him, I've known those guys pretty much.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things. It's like, that's who we grew up with. That's who we weren't doing stuff like jumping off of roofs through doors or doing stupid stuff. We were actually
having competitive matches,
wrestling we wanted to be wrestlers. We didn't just want to just do this in the yard forever. We knew that when we came to it, we were going to move up.
Yeah. Awesome. I was watching that same match. That's kind of funny that he just brought it up because it was about to be my next question. And I was just gonna say, with Father's Day being yesterday, from that, give me an idea. What is just like a memory of like just being with your father, or I know Vinny is a great father himself. Of being of you being a father with your kids. Like what is just like a great memory that you guys have?
For me, one, my dad is crazy as hell, but in the best way possible. I mean, listen, I grew up on a farm my whole life with a wrestling ring built in the middle of it.
Awesome.
We had people like Sabu, Sandman, and all these people over my house for my birthday party when I was like 5 years old. So I always grew up around the wrestling thing. I mean, crazy. It's hard to say one of the crazy stories about my dad because we've had so much crazy stuff happen to us. When you grow up on a farm, I grew up with like peacocks, camels at my house. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, when I exaggerate this, we have camels, reindeer. We've had regular white-tailed deer at my house. I've owned a hawk.
Wow.
This is where I drove in my childhood. It was weird. So I always grew up with these weird things. 'Cause my dad was in the wrestling business. You meet the weirdest people in the world. My dad met somebody who literally had 2 camels. We traded him 2 camels for 2 horses. That
Sounds like a good deal.
I grew up with. So it was me growing up from my dad picking me up from school with a horse.
Can they
and
even
carriage.
live in Jersey?
No, that's why we got in trouble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got all those. We got all those animals taken away from us. They called the ASPCA a lot on my farm. It was never. We weren't mistreating anything. We were always treating them good. But they'd come in there. They'd come to our house and they're going to the barn like, that is a camel. I'm like, yeah, we need to have an exotic animal license. Who says? We do. Oh, okay. We didn't. So we were always respectful about it and stuff like that. We let them. We weren't putting them in a fight. We weren't like setting barns on fire. We were just all right, no problem. We learned slap on the wrist.
Wow.
But I mean, growing up, we traveled far for wrestling. I mean, going to Philadelphia. I mean, going to Wildwood was probably one of my with Dapper. I don't know if you guys remember FWF with Dapper. Okay. So going to his shows. I mean, I grew up with Rocco Rock, pretty much as my uncle from. If you guys ever look at my dad's business called A&T Stables, Alan Teddy. That's Rocco Rock's real name. My dad still keeps that name now because of like how they were like brothers. He was like my uncle. Growing up with these guys was like so crazy. Like we would go to Wildwood. I was like 10 years old in a bar at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I grew up. Wow. We're all hanging out. There's like a sectioned off place where all of us were all hanging out and everybody's having a good time. I'm 10 years old hanging out with 50-year-old people. That's just the life I grew up in. It was a weird childhood. It was something else to grow. It was definitely something else to grow up in. Yeah. It was. But this dude, he's an awesome father. You are.
He is. I hate to,
dude,
going to kayfabe, but you
are.
You definitely are.
You have really good, great kids. You have no idea.
Thank you, dude.
I see a lot of bratty kids. Your kids are great.
Yeah, I did. I got. They are very good kids, man. I would definitely say, like, moment-wise, for me, there's just something about taking my kids to the zoo. But I don't know if it's Kevin Steen in them or Owen, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But every summer we try to get to like Cape May Zoo. Get like 4 or 5 times, and like for whatever, like my kids light up. Like they don't care how hot it is, whatever. Like we literally spend all day there, just going through the animals. Go through it 3 or 4 times. It's just that's fun for us.
Do you have a favorite animal that you see personally?
Favorite animal?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude! I love kangaroos.
Kangaroos?
Yeah. I
What's in my pocket?
Yeah, I want to box with one dude. That'd be like kangaroos. They're weird looking animals.
Rob Fury, take notes. Vinny Cenzo versus a kangaroo at Fight for Battle 3.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds good.
I don't know. So what? One of the shows.
Best indie headline ever.
But if he gets that, I get to wrestle a bear. I swear, I want to wrestle a bear so bad.
Really?
Oh, that's literally one of my dreams. If I get to get in a ring with a bear, that'd be something. I'm weird.
like Hornswoggle dressed up as a bear or like a real
black bear from the wild.
Wow.
Don't feed him for 3 days when you wrestle him.
Really?
I don't know if you get in there with a bear. I can see you guys fighting bear country though. There we go. I can see that.
That's
close enough, right?
I'm a hunter. I actually am a hunter. I do hunt, so I wouldn't mind doing it.
Like facing a
Give me
bear.
underwear and a knife. That's all I need. I'm only kidding. I do not believe in animal cruelty.
I mean, I don't know if I want to
What's
face
your
a
favorite
bear.
animal at the zoo?
At the zoo?
Yeah, screw it. Yeah, what's your favorite animal?
Probably say a tiger.
A tiger?
I love cats.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that sounds weird or not, but
Oh, dude, cats are awesome. First of all.
yeah.
I feel like that's a wrestler thing. I feel like all wrestlers like cats.
Like cats, yeah, exactly.
It
Well, we all
must
like
be a heart
animals.
thing, right? So like the hearts, they love cats.
They
Like
do.
Teddy.
Oh, wow. I have 2.
Yeah.
It's funny. I have a
Really?
cat named Teddy. I do.
Really?
Yeah, it was after I really kind of like just Teddy. It was named it, but I kind of more like Ted Bundy. Teddy and Smokey. And what was your cat's name?
Tui, actually.
2 of you dogs, right?
Because
Yeah, I
it's the
got
second
dog.
one.
I'm a dog guy.
I'm a dog guy.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Pets.
dogs. Yeah,
Shout out
shout to
pets.
pets. Yeah, pets are really where they're at. It's funny. What are some of your musical interests? I know Vinny has a real one in his ringtone, right?
Jesus Christ.
Which one?
Real one.
No way.
What do you guys enjoy? What are some of the music that you guys enjoy or movies?
Oh,
Movies, well, any Quentin Tarantino movie.
any Quentin Tarantino movie
Quentin
alive.
Tarantino's awesome.
Hateful Eight is probably one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, he's dope.
It really is. Music In This Moment is probably one of my favorite bands that we've seen In This Moment once before. It was awesome. I guess we could say we like metal.
Metal, yeah.
Anything that has a good beat. Anything that has a really good beat, honestly, I like.
It's like
It's
Backstreet
hard.
Boys, right?
I love Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just a classic. I grew up.
Yeah, I like Backstreet
I
Boys.
mean,
Justin
And I like
Bieber.
Weezer, you know, like The Offspring,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Taking Back Sunday, and then like
Sum 41.
Valentine, Sum 41.
We kind of all have the same. Well, honestly, we all have kind of the same good music group. I mean,
Yeah.
I even appreciate some good screamo if you can understand it a little
If
bit.
you can understand,
Yeah, like I love good singing. Celine Dion, you can't beat her freaking voice at all.
Celine Dion.
I mean, I'll be the man enough to say it. There's no. Like, I give music an appreciation when it's due. Like Skrillex is a great person in making electric dance music. Like people are like these are you know, there's people who are good at their thing. And at the same time, there's rappers like Tenacious XX, whatever the hell his name is, and then whatever 6ix9ine.
Who, the Tentacool guy?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Tentacool. The guy who plays.
Squidward's guy.
Yeah,
Listen,
Squidward's guy.
I know that.
Those guys suck. Like,
I know this. I'm going to see Thrice next month, and I can't wait. That's all.
Well, two things. Tenacious XXX is dead, so you won't hear his music anymore.
He's dead.
Yes.
No, he got murdered. Don't say yes. And then 6ix9ine is in jail probably for like the rest of his life, so you probably won't hear any music from him for a
wait,
long
did I really
time.
fall through? I had no idea. I'm not kidding. I'm very sorry for whoever Tenacious. I'm very sorry about you and your family. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, but that's funny. Vinny, I know you're into some hip hop. I know that for sure.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Kanye, right?
I know I
Yo.
see some 50 Cent quotes on your IG.
Oh, 50 all time.
I guess my favorite rapper ever is
Huge
Tech Nine.
Raycon fan.
That old Tech Nine's
Raycon,
dope.
Ghostface.
That's dope. Yeah.
Nas is probably my goat.
Yeah. Nas is coming out with something new.
Yep. Do you remember Nature, the group that you used to run with from Queens?
Yeah.
Nature is a big fan. Obviously, old KRS.
Yeah, of course.
Not the
KRS-One.
newer stuff. I don't know, all up weird political shit he gets into. But the old KRS I like.
Uh-huh.
You know, who's a great rapper? Macho Man.
Macho Man Randy
Macho
Savage.
Man.
Hey, man, Hogan!
That's hilarious. Oh, man. Now,
Yo, Hogan the jump.
He has the song about Mr. Perfect, so you can't hate. You can't hate. He's the perfect friend.
The song is
Be
perfect.
a man's Grammy nominated
Yeah.
material.
yeah.
I have it on my Spotify.
Really? He had the
I
macho.
believe it. I believe it.
It was,
Be a man, Hope.
you can't hate wrestlers that go into other.
No, I love it, man.
Yeah, like
definitely.
other genres like Jericho.
Expand your
Right?
creativity, man.
Yeah, definitely. Now, like outside of like the ring, do you guys have like any like hidden talents or anything you do, hobbies outside of the ring?
I'm very good at ballerina. No, I'm joking.
I was gonna believe it. I believe
No,
anything
no.
you say now, man.
I mean, I'm good at bowling. That's about it, which is very
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I actually have 300s under my belt.
shit.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
dope.
actually, I met my fiance was through bowling, so it's like one of the best things that I guess I've done besides wrestling.
Nice.
So I mean, I'm good at bowling. I grew up horse riding, but I wasn't that really good at it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I don't know if you.
arm wrestling I'm pretty damn good at as
Arm
well.
wrestling, yeah.
I'm calling Moose out. He can't beat me on camera.
And football too, obviously.
I'm a little bit good at football, but my stamina sucks, as I said. And you know, football, I was really good at football until I went to places where they were just as big as me, and I was like, oh shit, this is a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah.
You know, I would always wreck stuff. That's about it. I was just really good at tackling people. I wasn't good at remembering plays. I wasn't that good at, like, I look at plays like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I'm just going to run at the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. I do know Leo has a talent. If you don't say it, I'm going to be pissed off. This dude has, what?
With baseball?
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball, yeah,
This
I
dude
love
has an
baseball.
arm, man. This dude has an arm.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we go to, like, I know it's weird when we go to Seaside and play a game with the bottle smash, where you throw a baseball with the bottle. I miss, like, every time. This dude actually knocks him out. I'm like, why
You
do
get
do
the
that?
big prizes and stuff like that. Can you take
Yes.
home one of those?
Like Big Bears. Not Bear Country, but like it's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you like a pitcher or
I
what
played
was your position?
third base.
Oh, you gotta have more.
You gotta have
Definitely.
room to do that. I caught too sometimes. I was a catcher here and there.
Awesome. That's dope.
I played baseball once and didn't hit a ball all season.
No.
You have a favorite team?
Yankees probably favorite.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I looked around
you
at
had
first,
all
like,
this crap,
yeah,
and then
no.
you say, "Yeah,
'Cause, like,
thank you."
Yeah, the greatest player of all
I'm a
time
Mets
is
fan,
Mike
but I also
Piazza.
don't like baseball. Really.
Piazza.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's
Get
the greatest.
outta
He's the
here.
greatest player. He's the
He's
greatest
a nut.
catcher of all time.
I thought
Great-
Posada was a better catcher than.
No, you gotta look
pretty
at
sure.
you gotta look at the
That's
records.
it.
It's
This
Mike
show
Piazza.
all-
I'll listen. As a Yankee fan, I'll be unbiased, and I'll give Piazza the nod over Posada. But he's definitely not the GOAT.
No, he is the GOAT, and I will debate anybody. And I will
love
just
your
keep saying he's the
enthusiasm.
greatest. Yeah, Mike Piazza is the greatest player of all time. I mean, you have Babe Ruth.
Player now.
And-
You went from
and-
catcher to
Play-
player.
Yeah, he's the greatest of all time, Mike Piazza. I mean, even with the blonde hair, he's still the greatest player of all time. That's a fact. So
Randy Johnson was the best player of all time.
31 for life.
ticket.
I
You know, 31.
Hashtag 31.
Yeah, all the time. You know, I'm glad we got to talk about some baseball and stuff like that, and my passion for Mike Piazza, obviously. But Vinny, you know, we gotta go back to Mega Slam, right? Real quick.
Okay.
You and Brandon Kirk. I mean, you talked to me about it. You said, you know, this is a guy you grew up with. You know, you trained. You know, knowing that this is a big show. This is the biggest show of the year for SWF. You know, it's a bigger spot than usually that they're at. Pressure's on. How was it getting in there with him and just knowing that this has to hit a home run, right?
Yeah, you know, like, and I think that was the biggest thing. You know, like, I wouldn't say, I'm not gonna say the biggest thing, but the first battle was just getting out of the mindset. Oh, I'm wrestling Brandon again. Not,
Okay.
You know, Brandon that I've wrestled. I can't tell you how many times over the years, because you know, just whether it's for Smoothie or for FWF, DAP, or wherever it was, I've wrestled dude plenty of times. So get out of that mindset, because we both evolved. You know, you guys seen where Brandon's gone, and you've seen the path that I've gone. So it's a completely different animal. So have to get out of that first. And, you know, I am going to sound overly confident. I feel that I'm one of the people that just, when it comes to Mega Slam, I fucking deliver. I mean, TJ delivered, and I delivered the year before that, and it's just one of those things where, like, similar to how I feel like when I'm in Totowa. Like, I mean, not gonna say I don't have nerves like anyone else, but, like, when I'm going in there, I'm going in there, and you better be on my fucking level, because otherwise, don't even show up. And I think me and Brandon did it that night.
Yeah, I think so too.
You guys are like both crazy. So
No,
I want to know what's like the craziest thing you guys have done in all of the matches you guys have.
Keep it PJ.
Well, I mean, I guess, you know, like, we didn't necessarily we didn't really do hardcore matches back at the other times when we were wrestling for like for a Smoothie or a Dapper. We just, you know, did more standard wrestling matches. So the crazier stuff would have been from the more recent SWF matches. I guess the cheese grate. I mean, we did do the skewers.
Yeah.
So I guess you get its personal taste, whoever, you know, skewers or cheese grater kind of thing.
Yeah. We got to bring up this match. You know, Tony Cheney and Tommy the Moose versus, you know, Dominic, Truex, and Vinny. Right? How is it teaming up with each other? You know, I mean, you guys, you know, you and Leo are so used to teaming up together.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta look around the corner and see, you know, somebody else who's a brother to you, but in a different way. You know.
Well, when tag team wrestling just comes natural to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're all strange people. I mean, it's gonna be weird to say this, but it's like we're a group of friends who were probably never meant to meet each other, but we met each other. Well, we met each other, and that's why we're going to become great.
Okay.
And that was almost a line from Queen right there. That's just like what thing it is, but like we are. We are. I mean, we fit naturally together. One, because we know each other very well. Yeah,
100%. There's no way that, if it's a facto, if it was the other way around, that we can replicate that chemistry, because like, you know, it's one of those things. That's them. Like, they were made for that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But same thing, like we said, we've all come together as five. It's drawing off different strengths and weaknesses.
Crazy matches with crazy. I got to say, crazy matches with crazy. If it was somebody else that was like normal, I wouldn't have gotten good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, I've had to tag team. Since Leo was gone, I had to tag team with some weird people. All right, and this guy is normal to me, so that makes it crazy. That's why we did such a good. That's why we wrestled good together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's. Sorry, but nobody could play my brother. But
No,
we did
100%.
good. We did great. We beat them, right?
It was cool too, because you guys also teamed up with Astro and Steve the Body Lugo, and it's just like, you know, it's just a crazy dynamic, because, you know, Steve, I feel like Steve could fit in too with you guys, you know, because like just because that matchup, and like, you know, you kind of combined like COD and five guys in such a cool way, you know, with Astro now at the helm.
Yeah, it is kind of like that, you know, that creative mesh together. And not that, you know, obviously Steve is not necessarily a member of
Yeah, he's
5G,
not.
you know, but like, you know, we're not going to deny the fact that, you know, they are buddies, you know, it's not going to change between Astro and Lugo.
It's also not going to change that Steve Lugo is a great wrestler.
He is. He's actually, yeah.
But he's just not in the five because he's not in the five. That's about it.
It's just the way the hand fell.
The hand fell, and we got Astro, and we don't really need somebody like we don't need somebody like Lugo. We have a tool. We have the cruiserweight. We have the hardcore. We have the heavyweight, and we have the tag team.
Yeah.
What else do we really need at that point? And it also makes 6 wrestlers. We can't have 6. So, sorry. That's why we got rid of Rob.
6
You
guys.
can't have 6 guys?
No, we got rid of him. Well, we have. Here's the thing. First of all, get over it. 5 guys is 5 wrestlers, and we have Preston as our manager. So it is 5 wrestlers.
Okay.
1 guy
It's like
running.
the 4 Horsemen, right? Like
Yeah,
they had 4
exactly.
guys and J.J. Dillon at the helm.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, screw them.
And Dominic, you love tag team wrestling so much, and probably part of the reason you're tag team with a lot of weirdos is at one point you were selling your services to be tag team partners for people to protect them.
I was a wrestling prostitute.
It was awesome because I'm gonna be honest. I thought like when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be a good guy. You know, he's gonna stand up.
Yeah.
You know, like people are gonna get behind you, and you're just like, screw you all. I just want the money.
I just want the money.
My time's up. You know, I don't want to finish this match.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you put a time limit on those people too, man. Like, hey, man, you get 5 minutes, that's it.
Listen, you don't go to Atlantic City and pay a hooker for a half hour and get 45 minutes. Right?
Like, what happens if you fall in love, right?
Exactly. So
If she falls in love,
I didn't want to be listen.
It
I don't
happens.
want to have to be stuck next to somebody who I don't want to be stuck to longer than I have to, and that's obviously it. I mean, listen, if I have to tag team with Glazer one more time, I'll break his neck. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So who you think, being a tag team fan, your favorite tag team all time? I asked all 3 of you guys. Favorite tag team all time?
Say Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City.
Oh, that's actually a really good one, man. I've never heard somebody say some TNA stuff.
I used to love TNA.
Yeah, TNA was definitely dope.
I'm surprised no one said the Mega Bucks, but that's just
Definitely Enzo and Cass. I'm joking. I'll get some shit for that one. Oh, dude, that's actually really hard. There's a lot of tag teams I really, really like. Shit. I'm gonna have to say the Hardy Boys or Dudleys. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Dudleys. I do. I've always loved the Dudleys. I really have.
Yeah, Dudleys are my favorite, like, all time. I
Yeah.
think they're, like, amazing, like, the best of the best.
I was with the table, bring the table, stuff like that. I always like that kind of hardcore stuff.
Uh-huh.
The Hardys were really cool. Like, the Hardys are like a different like aspect. Like I don't know. It was weird. I loved the Hardys, but at the same time, it's like, dude, stop getting hurt. Like,
Yeah.
there's only so much you need to do to get over it. I don't think taking a spear off of 30 ladder was one.
I'm surprised you guys didn't say Rock and Sock. You know,
Yeah.
come on, it's 2 All-Stars.
Oh, it's amazing tag team.
Oh, I did like a Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat, yeah.
He was dope, yeah.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I really did forget the Bushwhackers, where I would really. I used to love
Bushwhackers?
them.
Okay,
Bushwhackers,
yeah, that's
I did.
cool.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I did a clip that keeps going up on Facebook. Anyway, you know right away.
Yeah.
And
Cut the wrong head.
it's tough. I mean, because like Sam, similar to him, every part of me, because I was, like prime fan wise, I was such an ECW fan, and like if you weren't entertained by the Dudleys, you didn't have a fucking pulse.
Yeah.
That's just how I mean.
They got you somewhere.
Yeah, there's just there's no way. But as far as like I guess like thorough tag team, like I would say top to bottom, only because I started watching them as a fan and progressing now as the Briscoes. I think just Jay and Mark are just like exceptional in every
They're
respect
awesome.
of the
They're
word.
awesome people.
They are the most entertaining heels because they're themselves, and they're the most entertaining faces because they're themselves.
They're very down to earth too. They're always doing like promos like at their landscaping job. Like
I was watching when they're like shooting guns like in the barn or something like what the hell? Like
It's normal. Yeah.
but
that's normal for them.
yeah.
Now, do you think, that we would see any, like, aspect or, like, recreation of where, like, nowadays, now 3 guys can hold tag team titles, you got the New Days, the Freebird rules. Do you think we would see any variation of that with any of you guys that's something that could happen?
We don't really need to. I mean, we have everybody where we have it. Like, if
Yeah.
we really needed to, I guess we would. But I mean, there's no like when we win the tag team titles and when he wins the hardcore title, we're all gonna have a championship. There's not gonna really be any room for that.
Got you.
I mean, and when Jimmy Romer wins the cruiserweight, we're gonna have championships. There's not really gonna be a need to fill in for anybody because we're all gonna have our own spot there.
Yeah.
But just letting you guys know, I'm saying when. for a good
No, we got that.
We're going to be running this shit.
It's funny because Vinny alluded to it earlier when you guys took over a show. You literally had a show, a 5-guy show during WrestleMania weekend a couple years ago.
5 guys fight night.
Yeah, how do you go about approaching doing that again? Right? How do you get in that mindset, knowing that?
Madison Square Garden, that's weird.
Knowing that, you did it once.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it again? Because now a couple years have gone by, they've gotten a little bit wiser, you've gotten a little bit wiser. How do you get in that mindset, knowing that these are the other guys that we can do this with, and how do you go about that?
I don't want to speak entirely for the whole group, with Astro and Jimmy and Preston not here, but I don't think it's necessarily that we would want our own show again. You know what I mean? I think that's, and again, I'm not taking away, because I love my history and I love what we did with the original 5 guys. Mm-hmm. But again, I think that's where the transitional changes were. That 5 guys group was more about entertaining and having our own show, whereas this group wants to come to the shows that we have lined up. Just go ahead, tell us where we need us to be, and we're going to come there and do what we do every time.
They're not going to want to name a show after us. That's what's going to happen. We're not asking people to like us. Okay. We're not asking people to want. We're not asking for followers on Twitter. We're not asking for all this stuff. We're demanding that we're going to be getting titles.
I want people to look at us in such a vein that the dominance level and the just the respect level that I feel we deserve, and not from a cocky standpoint, but from you guys seeing the amount of work that we put in, whether it's coming back from surgery, whether it's beating the stigma of my dad being a wrestler and doing it on his own, or Astro not just being another big guy, or Jimmy trying to stand in where every cruiserweight's flippy. We busted our asses and put our work in. I want people to look at us and say, oh my God, not only are they killing it on the SWF roster, I want those kids on this ATUF roster to look at it and be like, oh my God, what if they came here, kind of thing. Yeah.
Sure.
I really think there should be a lot of places where that all of us, honestly. I mean, Astro's already been on. Me and Leo just got back together. I'm
Sky's the limit.
I'm hoping that people can understand that we want to go everywhere and anywhere. We'll show up anywhere and anywhere that people want us to be. If anybody wants to try and see what the AC Scoundrels really has, or Vinny Cenzo really has, we're only one message away, and we'll be there to show you guys up. We'll be there to show everybody what we have to offer.
Yeah. I posed this question earlier, but Vinny, knowing that, Rob and Billy, they can, the doors are open to other promotions now. Other people are coming in. Who are some of the guys that you want to face now? As a solo,
100% without a doubt, I want to wrestle Matt McIntosh.
Oh yeah,
100% without a doubt, I want to wrestle Matt McIntosh. I've known Matt a lot of years, and we've never had a singles encounter. And I similar to a guy like Kyle the Beast, you just look at a guy and you go, that's a wrestler. That's a professional wrestler. And I feel like that dude would push me 100% within my limits, and I want that. I want somebody who's going to push me. Again, you said, I think a rematch with Eric Corvus would be dope. And I'm not going to negate history. Brandon Kirk and I owe the SWF Universe a finish with the Taipei match that we had promised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wow.
that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, what do you guys think of, the indie scene nowadays and things evolving, like AEW, women's wrestling evolving in the independent scene?
Mm-hmm.
Do things like that make you guys excited and make you feel like,
hell yeah, it does. I mean, listen, it gives me a sight of hope. Really, I mean, you're seeing all these people. I mean, Adam Cole grew up right down the street from one of my buddies.
Yeah,
that's some dude from Pennsylvania, who was literally a nothing and became something. That gives me so much hope. It's not even funny. I mean, even people is I don't know, it's scummy, but freaking James Ellsworth. If that guy can make it, there's no reason why anybody can't make it. It gives you a really good sense of hope. And we grew up. We grew up in the best era of best wrestling. Not gimmicks like that, not excitement, but best era of actual wrestling. That's how I feel. I mean, I understand that people who are way too flashy. I mean, I get pissed off. Everybody knows selling freaking super kicks. At one point, that was selling like a finisher. That pisses me the hell off. Yeah. I'm just saying, I understand at one point the DDT used to be a finisher, but there's a point in wrestling when two Canadians don't put one person out for a 3 count, that we need to really think about what the hell you're trying to do here in professional wrestling. Like, it's the one-upping thing. It's like the deathmatch thing that you were talking about before with the scissors. You know, I know you're trying to one-up each other, but there's a point to where you need to say, all right, dude, listen, like, we need to really think about this and think about who we're going to be burying here and what we're going to be doing in this professional wrestling industry. Like, they can do all this stuff. What about the people who want to get bigger in this business, who think that this is what I have to do to get over? I have to do 3 freaking people. I have to do 3 of this. And they hurt themselves doing this stuff. Like the guy like years ago who injured himself doing double moonsault and laying on his freaking neck. Like, there's so many people who injure themselves doing stupid stuff because they think they have to be better than they are. And that's what's the worst part about the indie wrestling. But the best part is that there's people who can one-up everybody else. But it does get to a point where you need to say enough's enough.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, if I may, I think, and I would like Leo to elaborate on this because, not that he hasn't been able to showcase it yet, but, you know, I would say out of our 5, Leo's the most creative wrestler as far as, like, you know, in-ring technique and mixing high fly with technical ability.
Sure.
That something like that, so like, isn't that the thing? Like, I think it's not so much the moveset, but how you're creative.
How you
with
do
it.
moves.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you guys want to see some creativity, pay attention to what's going to be happening this Friday Pizza Party. If you guys have a chance to get to Pizza Party Wrestling this Friday, get there and you get to see some crazy stuff. You guys will see wrestling that you've never seen before. It's in boot. If you guys get a chance, please come up there and check us out. It is some crazy stuff you'll guys be seeing.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I was thinking about some of the tag teams, right? And it kind of goes in droves on TV, but you know, there's always been a steady flow of just really good tag teams on the indie scene. You know, knowing that, you know, that kind of always kind of fluctuate tag team. But the highest, you know, the most popular wrestler right now, or wrestlers, are the Bucks. Yeah, right? Does that guys give you, like, confidence, and Vinny, does that give you confidence knowing that, hey, we could be a tag team and we could still be the most popular act?
Yeah, I think definitely.
Does?
Because for a while, like, growing up, like, John Cena was, like, everything. You know? No one really cared that much about tag teams.
Really, around that era, there really wasn't really a lot of good tag teams.
They were all out the door, and even TNA. Douglas went to TNA that you really didn't have.
And they broke up.
At the time.
Yeah, let's be
the Hardy
real.
Boys
Like,
broke up.
How many years did Vince McMahon just shit on tag team wrestling? Like, how many?
It just got put. There was
just
one tag team
was
belt. There was one tag team belt, and I couldn't even tell you what the freaking championships were.
Yeah.
They were giving on like.
But yeah.
They were just put together tag teams. Where were the extras?
Yeah, but see, it's funny because on TV, you would see that maybe a decline in tag team, but always at the indie shows you would see like the Hit Squad or you know, like the Briscoes, the Hate Club, you know, the SAT, you know,
Quiet Storm,
Southside Players. So many great tag teams, you know, carving their own way.
Super Smash Brothers. Sorry, they were good too.
Yeah, of course. And just knowing that, like, you know, it didn't lose its popularity locally or nationally, like on a smaller level, maybe just in WWE. But knowing that right now, like the Lucha Brothers, right? You know, LAX, of course, These guys are mainstay tag teams. They're a renaissance to maybe what tag team wrestling should be on TV.
I used to love Crime Time. Crime Time was awesome. I was like, I guess during that era, the only really good tag team you really think of actually at that time was Crime Time.
I think, and
the Hard Dynasty.
Obviously, these guys are more the experts on this, though. Is like I think the difference of what happened was tag teams then on indie wrestling were trying to showcase singular guys and put them together, whereas compared to today's, like you said, like the Rascals or the LAX and stuff like that. These guys are actually in it to be a team. They're not in it. They're not worried about their solo paths, and you can see that in the way that they wrestle and cut promos or carry themselves.
Yeah, I think a lot too is kind of like how we talk with wrestling, like evolving and AEW, things like that. You know, they showcase stuff like that. Ring of Honor, they showcase like the Briscoes and things like that, the Young Bucks, tag teams like that. Whereas WWE was just like that was everybody's goal, and Vince was basically telling you like, hey, if you're coming in here with a tag team, you're pretty much not going to make it. So I think that kind of like made guys think about themselves and say, hey, I like being on a team with you, but I got to think about my own career. And, a lot of guys were breaking up.
I'm telling you right now, listen, they can love me and hate me for this, but if I went to E right now and they told us we couldn't be a tag team, I'd give them a middle finger.
But
But
I don't think
still,
they'll do it nowadays.
Like it or not.
But still, even to
Yeah,
a degree,
I think
it's
tag team
hit or
wrestling is
miss.
flying out the door right now. There's so
Because
many tag
you
teams. I'm
have-
so excited. You have no idea.
I think the prime example would have been a Gable and
Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
You
were
had
great.
you had
Perfect.
literal excellence. They were like the evolution from Team Angle.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like, or even further than that, the Wrecking Crew when Benjamin
Yeah.
and Brock were together.
Yeah,
Like, how do you fuck that up?
yeah, and they broke
And
them
then
up.
immediately, but the success they had, that feud with
Mm-hmm.
like how do you like so I will give them their due, but like in the same breath, you had like a great example there, and you just let it go.
But I mean, Jason Jordan did find out his dad. I mean, so I mean, there's always a silver
but
lining.
I don't know. I guess for me, I'd
I'll
just
say that
rather
was
see
so
the
stupid.
better matches as opposed to a few weeks of that kind of nonsense, and then be done with it. And now you don't see the dude.
Didn't they
Yeah,
try
it's
once
true,
with
sure.
Hornswoggle? Like, come on. Like, that was... When Hornswoggle being Vince's kid?
Yeah, I mean, it just warms my heart when people find out their dads, especially around this time of the year.
We
Their
gotta take,
dad is a totally different race and nationality. It was
we gotta
great.
take the stupid with the good, man. It's entertainment too. At the end of the day, right?
But Vinny's
More is entertainment, too, and that's what I should have stayed.
Vinny's right. You get more miles out of a good tag team than you do a couple weeks of television, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think anybody would agree with that, maybe except people in WWE.
There's people who are better
They
at
get
tag
paid.
teams. There's people who are better at tag teams. People who are better at singles.
That's
Like the
true.
Usos. When I forget which one got hurt, but when one got hurt, you know what was so good? You could tell he hated it. You could tell he was like, "Man, this sucks. I hate doing it. I miss my brother."
Yeah.
That's pretty basically what I felt the whole time. I was like, "Man, this sucks. Single wrestling sucks."
Yeah.
First of all, I'm out of breath all the time.
But you did a fantastic job,
Thank you.
of holding on to that spot, holding on to that passion, holding on to that dream that, you guys are going to reunite one day. It might not be as soon as you wanted it to be, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You said you didn't give up on that, and that is something that, I think everybody can just cherish and take. That even if people are listening, that's something you should strive for. That's that champion thing inside of you that says, I gotta tough this out for a little bit, and things are gonna be okay. And I'm glad that you guys,
Man, listen, I had great people there from that. Really did. I had people like Vinny Cenzo right there next to me. I mean, we actually tag teamed a couple times. You see on his pictures, you can see us both freaking out, looking like we're on something that's not legal. And it was a fun time. It really was. Listen, I had great people to help me out. I mean, him and Jim were. Him and Preston were there, and Jimmy Rummer, I guess you could say. And I had a lot of good people looking at me. At the same time, I was always there for him. And they were always there. I mean, Cenzo was always there for Pete as well. Me and Pete. I mean, we had good contact with everybody. I also say Team Magic was also there for us as well.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the old crappy dude, but yeah, he was there for us a lot.
That's dope. Now, for you guys, individually, collectively, what's next? What is your goal?
The world.
Hey, that's a great mindset to have.
That
So
is a great one to have.
I want to be selfish. Like, I want everything. I want us to have everything. I want all of us to have everything. I want to get as far in this business as possible.
It's possible.
I would love to get. I would love to get in like AEW or something like that. I would love to get I want to get booked anywhere and everywhere. I want every tag team title in the world. I want to be a professional wrestler for the rest of my life, and that's all I want to do for the rest of my life. What about you?
Just win gold.
Don't let me keep talking, but
Just win gold. That's it. From being in a hospital bed for 2 months, having to relearn how to walk, relearn how to write.
eat.
He
had a feeding tube in his stomach for months.
3 months.
Yeah.
I couldn't even drink water.
I hope you guys know I got a call one day at a wrestling show saying that he ripped his own breathing tube out because he said, I'm
At
not
the
getting
hospital.
a tracheotomy. I don't need this anymore.
really,
That's the call I got. One of the excitement I got a call on my birthday, July 27th, that he woke up from his coma.
Yeah.
That was want to talk about a blessing of a phone call?
Yeah.
Like, these are the phone calls that I got, and they never made me any happier than to hear that. Like,
yeah. Well, I think
So from him being in a hospital bed, learning how to do all this, from us being hopefully in the big leagues, learning how to get to the freaking stadium, that's where I want to get to. Like, how do we get to the stadium again? I got 2 drunk last night at the hotel.
and that's awesome because that's a heartwarming story, knowing that you overcame this, you got back in the ring, and your goals have not, deterred yourself from getting to where you want to be. So That's great to hear, man, and we're happy that you're pursuing that. I'm happy to see you back, and I think everybody is.
And we're just getting started.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
Yeah, 3 matches in, and it's crazy, man. Right? So
it's gonna get even crazier. I know that. Like bookers and anything. Hey, listen, I'll just say anybody, anywhere, anytime, any kind of match. We'll wrestle a death match. We'll wrestle a ladder match. We'll wrestle a tables match, cage match, on top of a roof match, in your backyard match, in your living room match, right here. I don't care. Well, anywhere.
Really?
Bookers anywhere. Book him against any death match wrestler you want. I'll take him up. I'll against almost any of these death match wrestlers. Like, shit. Yeah. Send him to Japan and see what happens.
This is Andrew's house, so you guys can fight.
Pay us enough money. Pay us enough money to see what happens.
Yeah. But I can't. The future is endless now for you guys, and I'm glad to see you guys reunited and doing your thing, and I'm glad to see that Vinny Cenzo and the 5 guys. Let me ask you this, because I had job security here a couple weeks ago, and they were saying that Jimmy Controversy could be a little bit of a handful. Do you guys, how do you guys handle that?
With a 5,
we can see it, but we reel him in pretty good.
Okay.
Crazy and crazy go together.
I guess so.
There's a handful.
We keep his eyes on the prize.
But you gotta bust his balls. That's how you keep him steady.
All right.
Listen, when somebody's a handful, you gotta be a handful back at him. Mm-hmm. And he's just like us.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You know? The only thing I say about him is he needs to get like 2 inches taller. Somehow.
Platform boots or something?
Yeah, something.
Like Spice Girls or something?
Yeah.
Awesome. We didn't get to talk about Preston for a second, right?
Okay.
And Astro, Preston for a while now. He's been with you in your corner for a long time. And I see you guys backstage. How much of it is, people seeing that's the real friendship between you and him when you go out there?
100%.
Yeah.
That's my dude. Till the end. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to obviously elaborate on super personal matters, but that dude has had my back through some serious shit kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And obviously he's had my back every time we go out to the ring. Mm-hmm. You saw it Saturday night.
And no matter what happens in business,
he was there.
Like if there's somebody talking about us, like something like that, he was always want to come tell us or if somebody was there was a couple of cases where somebody was saying the not truth. And Preston was one who kind of got us out of that jam a little bit. Well, at least me, my personal self. There was something that somebody told somebody that wasn't true. That Preston was like, no, he did wow. And people I was blocked from talking to the people. They would just block me for no reason. Preston would be the one that hit them up. Like, yo, no, listen, he needed to talk to you. That's not what happened at all. Like he was always the one. He always stuck up for me. Like that's the one. Preston always stuck up to me. Always stuck up for me. And us. Like he was always about sticking up for the people who he cared about, really.
Yeah,
I've only known him for about 2 years, give or take. And I feel like I've known him my whole life.
Yeah, him too. Like, I feel like we've been friends. Like, I feel like we all grew up together. Like, I have images of us as kids sometimes. Like, never happened.
Well, that is an awesome friendship to have. And I'm glad to see you guys, hitting your stride together as a team and a faction at SWF. And I'd like to see you guys, hopefully in other places, carry that desire, because you guys have it inside of you, each one of you guys. I can see that, just the way how excited you guys light up when you talk about wrestling. And Vinny, I mean, you talked about people who you want to face, and just the wheels, you can see it. They're like, man, this is awesome.
I want to call it a singles wrestle right now, real quick. I want to wrestle Scott Steiner right now.
Scott Steiner?
Yeah, I do. I would love to wrestle with Scott Steiner. For some reason you're listening to this, for the love of God, come to SWF, wrestle me in a one-on-one.
Well, you probably only have like a 33 and 1/3 chance of being.
I'll take that 33 chance of winning. It's my 35 and 30 chance of winning. Listen, I've wrestled in a lot of countries, all right?
Wait, actually, Leo, if you had to pick one single opponent right now, current wrestler, who would you want to face?
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's insanely talented. Very good.
All right.
That's stuff I've never seen before.
And the honest one actually would be either Jeff Cobb or Antonio Cesaro, I'm not going to lie.
Cesaro?
Yeah, Cesaro.
I
love his style of wrestling. He's awesome. Man. But I would love to be I would love to just me and Jeff Cobb throw each other around.
Jeff Cobb.
Oh, man. Jeff Cobb would be I feel like you against and like sometimes like you get a big guy versus a bigger guy, and it never really pans out the way you really imagine. Like,
picture it, yeah.
But yeah, you could picture like you versus like Bam Bam Bigelow, or like you and like Dr. Death, right? And,
I versed me and Kyle the Beast had an awesome match. Actually, we wrestled at UWA. Me and him had a pretty good match.
Yes.
And then me and Bose had like an awesome, fun match.
Yeah. He slammed you, right, KTB?
Yeah, he powerbombed me.
Yeah.
He's powerbombed me before.
Back in the day.
Absolutely. Like,
Years ago.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind being thrown around at all. I'll get right the hell back up and punch him in the mouth.
Sure. That's the cool thing about you, because I can see you against like Samoa Joe, and like it looks good on
him up.
Yeah, it looks good on paper, but you just know it's gonna look good in the ring too. Like I'm getting excited about it.
I'll challenge Walter right now.
Oh god.
We're not gonna get into that. I would challenge him right now.
He's just challenging the world, and that's the mentality you guys got to have, and that's something that all three of you guys.
Walter and Scott Steiner versus the United States Scoundrels right now.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Randomest tag team in the world.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are this confident, because this is something that this is going to propel you guys. It has to. So that's cool to see. I'm glad we did this, because I think a lot of people need to know what's burning inside of you guys as a team, as a stable, as individuals, and knowing that what you guys have been through together. If you could do what you did, overcome what you guys have come in the last year and a half, what does the next year and a half look like for everybody else? Like.
No pun intended, it'll be glorious.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
So, yeah, if I was on a tag team right now in the indie scene, I'd be a little worried for sure. So,
I just said if you guys can get there, be a pizza party. Yeah. It's gonna be a hell of a show. What's the guy's name again? We're wrestling. You guys remember Drake Chambers?
Yeah.
It's me and him versus Drake Chambers and Matthew Avalon or something like that.
Avalon, he's going back.
He's gonna be at the GCW Back at Wrestling at Matt Demorest.
Yeah.
It's gonna be us versus those two. The tag team match is gonna be. You guys see some hard hitting action, some actual tag team wrestling, like some crazy tag team wrestling you guys be seeing there.
Unfortunately, I'll be at
you have me at
Modern
pizza.
Vintage.
You just have me at pizza. That's all I heard.
We'll be showing you guys.
What, Philly?
Yeah, I'm making my debut there too. So.
All right. Well, we will send you guys some footage. You guys just it's a match
please,
you'll
please.
be able to appreciate.
That's the best part.
It's not we're trying to kill each other like us and Magic Magic. We're trying to hurt each other on that one, but
yeah. Like, this is the best part, because I get to watch like your matches online and study for you guys. So this is literally the best part, and the payoff is like I get to talk to you about the things I just watched. And
here's your to record a VHS with some random hunky dory freaking Mick Bronson thing. I'm only saying that because I actually wrestled a 4-1 on Mick Bronson. I'm not disrespecting at all. Yeah, I was 4-1 with at Mick Bronson's show, bro. I was.
Wow.
That's right. I've known Mick Bronson since I was 8 years old.
That's awesome.
Known him for a long time. He is very controversial. He is not afraid to stick up to somebody. But I've known him for a long time.
That's awesome. That's cool that you guys had these experiences. Where can people get you guys on social media individually?
At Leo Zukko.
Okay.
ACS.
I'm at ACS Dominic Truex on Twitter. And that's no. And on Instagram, I'm actually ACS Dominic Truex as well. I'm not on there very much, but mostly I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
On Instagram and Twitter, Oddsoul Cenzo, and then on Facebook, you can get me at Vinny Cenzo.
Awesome, guys. And for us, we've been Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. You can listen to us right here on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button for future videos and past ones like this one. Or you can listen to us on the B Plus Player Network. And this is it for Derek and I, and we will see you soon, right?
We're out.
Test the 5.